Matthew 14 and 15 give two pretty similar accounts of the disciples interacting with Jesus. One is when they're feeding the 5,000, there's a crowd around him, and he's doing ministry, and he's healing the sick, and he's doing all these things, and the disciples say, we should send these people home so they can get food, and Jesus is like, no, I can provide for them, bring them here to me. And we don't have enough food, and he's like, yeah, you do have enough food, it's gonna be okay, and he blesses it, and it takes a little bit of food, and he feeds 5,000 people. And then in Matthew 15, we see a similar story again, the feeding of the 4,000. In Matthew 15, starting in verse 32, it says, Jesus called his disciples and said, I have compassion on the crowd, because they've already stayed with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. I don't want to send them away hungry, otherwise they might collapse on the way. The disciples said to him, where could we get enough bread in this desolate place to feed such a crowd? How many loaves do you have? Jesus asked them. 7, they said, and a few small fish. After commanding the crowd to sit down on the ground, he took the 7 loaves and the fish and gave thanks and broke them and gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave it to the crowds, and they all ate and were satisfied. And they collected the leftover pieces, 7 large baskets full. And now there were 4,000 men that had eaten, besides women and children. After dismissing the crowds, he got on the boat and went to the region. It's funny to me reading through these chapters together, because you can lump the two stories together, that Jesus can take a little and make a lot out of it, and that you'll be satisfied with whatever that Jesus gives you, and that is this miraculous thing. But the interesting part to me is the disciples have the exact same earthly, temporary mindset and problem solving 2 times in short order. Jesus says, we can provide for these people, and the disciples say, where are we gonna get enough? Where are we gonna get enough? 2 times really close to each other in this narrative. They say, where are we gonna get everything? What do you want for us to do? And Jesus says, bring what you have to me, and I'll make it enough. And that's all we can do every day, is wake up and take what we have to Jesus and say, make this enough for today. It's why every day should start with reading and reflecting on Scripture. It's why every day should start with spending time in prayer. Because every day we need to remind ourselves, we can't do this on our own, but God, you can. And so give us today our daily bread. Give us today what we need for today. We're trusting you every minute. And in moments where it seems least likely, we'll lean in and trust you the most.